Hi everyone, welcome to the video. In this video, we are going to talk about node pools. So basically, when you create a cluster, in that you have create a node pool also, in which you define like the configuration of your nodes, like what you want, machine type, disk type. So that is basically node pool only. So basically, a node pool is a group of nodes within a standard cluster that all have the same configuration. So if you define a node pool during cluster creation or later on also. So all the machine in the node pool will have the same configuration. And in GKE standard mode, you can choose from a number of options for your node pools to meet your workloads needs. So like if you want a different CPU or different machine type, or you want local SSD or disk type like persistent disk you want, SSD you want, balance you want, that all the options we have while you create a node pool. And when you create a standard mode cluster, the number of nodes and type of nodes that you specify are used to create the first node pool of the cluster. So whenever you have seen when you create a node new cluster, you find a default node pool also. So that is the first node pool, but you can create more node pools also according to your need. And custom node pools are useful when you want or you need to schedule pods that require more resources than others, such as memory or more local disk space. So you can even create custom node pools defined or like your applications need more memory, so you can create a memory intensive like node, and according to that you can deploy your applications. And you can create, upgrade, delete node pools individually without affecting the whole cluster. And but you cannot configure a single node in a node pool. Any configuration changes all affect all nodes in the node pool. So suppose you have a node pool in which you have three nodes, and now you want to change configuration setting on a single node. That is not possible. It will reflect to all the nodes inside a node pool. And you can resize node pools in a cluster by adding or removing nodes. Suppose you want, like, if traffic will be increasing, you want to add no more nodes so that your ports can be scheduled. And once the traffic is gone or very less traffic, you want that like you want to remove the nodes, so you want to save the cost also. You can do this manually also. You can even use cluster like a node auto scaler. Both options we have. So you can scale node pools horizontally. So basically, you change the node count. You can scale your nodes pools up or down to optimize the performance and cost. So with GK standard node pools, you can scale a node pool horizontally by changing the number of nodes in the node pool. So you can go inside a node pool and add a new number, like you want now 5 nodes, 6 nodes. Later on, you can make it decrease also. When traffic is no more there, you can come down to 3, 2, and vertically scale is an option also available. So you can modify the node pool configuration like machine type, disk size if you want to change. Like you want to change machine type to E2 medium, you want to change the disk type or disk size also. So when you edit one or more of these machine attributes, so GK updates the nodes to the new configuration using the upgrade strategy configured for the node pool. We have as of now like multiple upgrade strategy, so you can use even rolling updates, that is default, and you even can use like blue green deployment strategy. And one more is there, we will see in the console, but we are not focusing on that. That is a different topic. But we will see in this how to create a node pools, how to horizontally scale and how to vertically scale, and what are the options we have. So let's go to console and let's create our first cluster, and we will see our default node pool, and then we create a one more node pool and work on this horizontally and vertically scale. So I am in my uh, console. If I click on create, so in autopilot we don't have the option to manage the node pool, so we have to go with standard cluster only, because in autopilot nodes are managed by Google only. So let's click on configure. Let's put our name like cluster 1. That's okay. I want a zonal cluster because regional is very costly, and I will go with zonal. After that, here is the node default pool. You can see node pools in this. It is a default pool. So let's give it like our first pool, so that naming we will remember it. After that, you have to define a number of nodes. So suppose I want 2 nodes. So like both nodes will have the same configuration, which can define in this option. So like if I go to nodes, I can define the image type I want. I can define the machine configuration, like I want E2, like E2 medium, like, or I can go with E2 micro also, E2 small also. That are the options I have. After that, I can define the boot disk type. Suppose I want standard persistent disk and I want 70 GB of disk, and I can define if I want to add local SSD reservations I can define networking security. Like in security, I can define the service account I want for my specific node pools. If you have multiple service accounts and each service account have different permissions, so you can define like different service account for each node pool, and you can deploy resources using taints or node selector. So now let's come down. We can define metadata also. So let's create our first cluster with the default node pool. This is my first node pool which I'm going to use, and let's go and click on create cluster. So it will take about 10 to 15 minutes. Let's wait for that. So our cluster has been created, and if you go to nodes and let's see, I think we have a single node pool as we have created only one. So this is the first pool which we have created. Now let's connect to the cluster. Let me run this. So I'm connected to my cluster. If I run kubectl get nodes, let's see. So I have two nodes as of now running. So if I have a like do ls, and if I do cat deploy.yaml, I have a YAML file which is here. In this I have two replicas, and as of now it is using like 200 m of CPU and 350 is a limit request. So let me change this so that we can check our like node pool upgradation also. Let me make it at least 500 of CPU, and let's make it 700 of limits, so it cannot request like take more than of 700 m CPU, and rest looks good. Let me create it now. Let me apply this kubectl apply hyphen f deploy.yaml, and let me see. So it has been created. Now let's go to kubectl get ports. Let's see. We can see both ports are pending only. I think I have done something. Let me. So now we can see ports are pending. So what we can do, we can go to kubectl get nodes, and let me go inside this node and let me see how much space or like CPU available. So if we go in that in this, so we can see basically we have two like two CPU capacity of our node, and we have memory of 4 GB, but allocatable is only 940 M. And if we come down and if we see, so already we have used 1730 M of CPU. So only I think if we minus it from 940, so we have only remaining like about 200 of CPU, 200 M of CPU. So if you can see also like which is using the most CPU, like we can see cube stick matrix is using, and after that this also is using like fluent, and our cube DNS is using 270, and cube proxy again is using. So this much of CPU is already being used by our system pods, and other than that there is some CPU which is being reserved by our cube like Kubernetes for its own processing also. So out of that, on the two CPU we get 940, and in these 940 also our system pods will run. Like these pods are running, like we can see name, collector, event, fluent, connectivities, and cube DNS. So that's why our pods are not able to schedule. So what we can do, we have two options. We can go like vi deploy.yaml, and we can change the configuration of it. Let's make it 100 M of CPU, and let's kubectl apply hyphen f, and let's run this once again. And now let's see kubectl get pods. We can see now container are creating, both are running. Okay, one is running, one is getting created. So it is a rolling update. It will delete once the new container will come up, or pending will be deleted automatically. So we can see now our both the pods are running. So now what if you want to check more, what you can do, you can go to your clusters also. Let's go to our inside cluster, and you can go to nodes also if you want. Like if it is very difficult to you to understand what's going on via the logs or via that config commands, you can come down here also. You can see like we have allocable is 940. Out of that we have already used 813 of CPU. Here also we have 940 and we have used 621, and memory what we have got out of 4 GB 2.94. Out of that 1.29 GB we have already used, and we have 937. So we can see here we can put one more pod, like we are using 100 CPU and CPU 1, and here we can put I think three more. So let's scale our like kubectl scale deployment. This is my deployment name, and hyphen hyphen replicas. Let's make it 6, and let's fix this name. So we have done that. Let's see whether it any pending pod is there. So we can see it is running fine. Every pod is running. Now let's make it 8. Okay, it is already done. Let's do kubectl get pods. We can see one is two are pending. Two are pending. It is not able to schedule. And if I go back here and just refresh this, and we can see we are already hit the limit 913, and here also 921. So we cannot put any new pod on this. Now we have two options whether we can increase the node size only like horizontally or vertically. So basically we are going to first try horizontally. So we can go inside your node pool and click on resize, and you can say I want 3 nodes. Click on resize. It will submit the request, and it will take about 5 to 10 minutes to create a new node inside this node pool. So we can see resize in the node pool first pool values. So if you come down soon, it will add one more node pool, and it will be the part of the instance group only. Like this is the instance group. It will add the node pool in this only. You can see instances 2 to 3. It is creating one more node pool, and if we come here, you can see now it is showing 3. Looks like it is already done also very fast. And if we come down, it is not showing here, but let me run kubectl get nodes. So it is still working on. It will take some time. So let's wait for that until the new node has been added. So new node has been added. If you are in C, you can see kubectl get nodes. This is the age 29 seconds ago it has been added. Now if I run kubectl get pods, I think all my pods are now running. So like this you can add a node horizontally, and we will try vertically also. Before that, I have one more file. Let me get second pool deploy.yaml. So in this I am requesting 500 of CPU and 750 of like limit is 750, but here is a one more important thing, node selector. So I am saying I want to deploy this pod if my node pool has a label second node pool. So basically if my node pool start with a name or have a name second node pool, then only this pod will deploy. It cannot be deployed on any other another node. So if I do second node pool, let me change this 200M, and now let me deploy this kubectl apply -f second pool deploy.yaml, and if I run kubectl get pods, so it will say it will be in pending state only. We can say it is pending, both are pending. And if I describe this kubectl describe pod, and we can see there is an option failing schedule. 0 of the 3 nodes are available. 3 nodes didn't match the pod affinity or selector preemption. 0 of 3 are available. 3, like it is saying basically it cannot be scheduled because that nodes didn't match the pod's affinity or selector. That's why it cannot be scheduled until we have a node pool starting with that name. So let's do that. Let's go here and let's come back, And here you have option create manage user manage node pool. We have to click on this, and let me copy the name of that my selector. I will create a node with the same name. So this is the selector name, and I will give the name same second node pool, and I will only need one node. I have a quota of four IP address. That's why I cannot create more than four nodes as of now. And everything looks good. And these are the node pool update like strategy. We will see in few minutes. And after that, I will come here and let's go with, suppose we can go with E2 medium only. And for the disk size, let's go with persistent disk. I want 70 GB only. Other than that, everything looks good. Networking, security, metadata, everything looks good. Now let's create this node pool. So basically, you are creating one more node pool. One we already have. Now suppose you have some workloads that needs a different node pool or different machine type or like GPU or any memory intensive. So you can create one more node pool, or you have some like name or like customer or some applications which need to run on their specific node pools with some specific configuration. So like this you can create this, and you can define like node affinities or node selector taints to deploy your pods on that specific node pools only. So it will take some time to create this node pool. Let's wait. So our node pool has been created. As you can see, it has a name like GKE cluster 1. My cluster 1 is my cluster name. After that, node pool name like second node pool, and it has been created 14 seconds ago. Now let's run kubectl get pods and let's see whether our pods has been scheduled or not. So we can see these both pods are now running because we got a node pool for this specific uh, no pods, and they have a selector also. So like this you can create multiple node pools, and if we go back and click here, and we will see now we have, if you go to cluster and click on nodes, you will find two node pools are there. You can see first node pool and second node pool. And now what we will do, so before I will try to show you how to do vertical no pod auto scaling, one thing I need to do, I have to go here and delete or like resize it once again, because I have only 4 uh, VM capacity in free trial, because 4 public IP I have allowed, and so I will resize back to 2. I'm doing that, and for here I will delete my deployment while it is working. So I will get kubectl get deploy, and I will delete this deployment because I don't need it as of now. So I will run delete deployment, and if I run kubectl get pods, only 2 pods will be there. So yeah, we are good with that. Now let's first resizing it done, I will move forward. I think it is taking some time. Let's wait. So meanwhile it is running, you can see it is in a ready status but scheduling disabled. So it will, there is no more pod can be scheduled on this. So if you try to create a new pod, they will only be scheduled on these two nodes. No new pod can be like scheduled on this, and it will follow all that like draining all that, like how much time it will give the pod to drain when you delete. It will follow up pod disruptions and all that. You can check. So the node pool has been scaled back. Now let's see kubectl. We have only 2 nodes. Now what we are going to do, as of now, if I do like do ls cat second pool deploy.yaml. So what will do, we will increase something from here that it will not work. So let me go with vi scale vi second. So here I'm going to do, let's make it uh, let's make it 1200 mi, like 1200 of megabyte of frame, and it looks good. Now let's redeploy it kubectl deploy or deploy hyphen, sorry, kubectl apply hyphen have second pool deploy.yaml. And if we run again kubectl get pods, let's see it will run or not. So we can see this one is in pending state. Let's see what is in pending, and let's go back to our node pools. And if we go to our second node pool, and we will see how much like RAM is available for us. So we can see we have like 600, like we are like increase the RAM. So as of now we have 2 GB of RAM requested. We are already using 2 GB out of 2.94 GB, and for this we have already increased our, if I do cat second pool, so this time we are requesting 1.2 GB of RAM, so that's why it will not going to run here. So we are going to vertically scale our second node pool. Before that, let's see what are the machine types we can use. So that, let me go to nodes, and let me go to standard one. We want more RAM, so we are going to use E2 standard 2. So let's come here. This is the option which you can provide here. We have to provide our uh, first of all node pools name. So if we go back, and we have to provide our node pool name. So my node pool name is second node pool, I think. Yeah, second node pool. Let's copy it. Let's provide this. After that, we have to provide the cluster name. Our cluster is cluster 1. Here it is. And after that, we have to provide a cluster location. So our cluster is in, I think, US Central 1A. Yeah, here it is. We can copy that also. And we have to provide the machine type. So let's copy it to standard. I think it is standard 2 only. It's good. We don't want to change disk or disk type or disk size, so we can remove this option by running this command. Now let's come here and paste this command, and I will remove this option disk type and disk size. And so what will happen, basically it will not delete our pods which are running. It will create first a new pod, oh sorry, new node, and after that it will delete the old node. So let's run this command. So it is updating. While it is updating, let's open a new connection and run kubectl get nodes, and let me run pods also, so we will kept on monitoring. And we can see the age is 12 second or 12 minute, and it is still on the pending side. And if we come back and in the notebook section, and if we, you can see here the saying updating nodes in the node pool for second node pool. And for node version upgrade it will take 4 to 5 minutes, but we are not upgrading the version, and to upgrade a single node, all that. And we are just doing vertical scaling, so let's go inside this only directly. And if you come down, it will start showing what is happening here. It will take a minute or two. Let's wait. So we can see now, we are seeing in the second node pool we are seeing two nodes. One is this and this and this. Let's go here and see the nodes. So we can see this is our old node C164. It is in now ready, but scheduling disabled, so no more nodes or pods can be scheduled on this. But this is our new node like 22 seconds ago. And if we run kubectl get pods, let's see what the status of those pods. So we can see it is now in running status, and yeah, both pods are in running status and old one has been deleted. And if we see, let's see what is going on here. As of now we can see it is cordon. Basically it means you cannot deploy anything on this specific node, and it is going to delete in a minute. So let's refresh once again and see if any changes going on here. So it will update this and it will delete our this specific node. And if we see here also, you can see 6.32 GB of memory is allocated to us, and out of that we are using 2.91 GB. So as I've told you, like Google will reserve some memory for it to use, depend upon like how much memory you are requesting. So if you request 16 GB of memory, then it reserves some percent of memory. I will show you that late in later lectures, but you can find on Google also like how much memory it reserved for its own processes. So our node has been deleted. If you run this command again, so we can see before it is showing 4, now it is 3 only. So this is vertical auto scaling. So basically you can go up or down also, doesn't mean that you have to increase the memo like machine size also only. So one more thing I want to show you, if we go here And if I click on edit our node pool, so as of now, if you come down, this is our node pool upgrade strategy. So this is surge upgrade. You can choose blue, green, or short lived node upgrade. So I'm this video only showing surge upgrade. So what is in this max surge means? Max surge is the maximum number of nodes that can be created beyond the current size of the node pool during the upgrade process. So you are, as of now, like we are upgrading our node pool, so it can add one node, like one node extra. So once that node has been created, it can delete the old node. Until then, it will not delete. And max unavailable means maximum number of nodes that can be simultaneously unavailable during the upgrade process. A node is considered available if its status is ready. So suppose you want, say, like I have a budget constraint. I don't want to surge. I want to make it unavailable. So what will happen? It will delete the pod node as soon as you upgrade your machine type of anything, instead of creating one extra node. So as of now, in the previous example we have seen, it has first added a new node, then it has put this node in scheduling disabled and then deleted this node. But if we make it max unavailable one, what will happen? It will just delete this node, then it will create a new node. So what will happen? Your traffic will go down, and then once the node will come up, traffic will come up. So that's the issue. If you have a like production, don't choose max unavailable only option. With you choose max search, and then you can choose max unavailable also. But if it's a testing and you can have some budget constraints and you can make node down, you have no issues, then you can go with max unavailable. But if it is a production critical workload and you cannot make any node go down, so make it always 0, and like make it 1 2 3. It depends upon your strategy how you want to add new nodes. So let's go with 0 1, and let's save it. Now I will run again and let's see what will happen. So it has been completed. We can see max and available 1. So now what we are going to do, let's come back here, and this time we are going to make it E2 micro 2. I think that is some E2 micro. Let me check like what kind of machine type available for us. So if I go back here and let's go to nodes, and we have like E2 micro. So let's go to E2 micro. Let's go back to E2 micro, and I will click on this, and let's come back here and let's click on kubectl get nodes. This time what will happen? This node will be get deleted. No new node will be created until this will be deleted. So let's see, come here. Okay, it is updating, and once it will be deleted, let's see, we can see ready but scheduling disabled. And if we run kubectl get pods also, you can see your pods will be in pending state. You can see both are in pending because our node has been gone. And if we come back here also, so this is the very important option you have to take care if you are upgrading or and doing anything, like how is your update strategy. We will cover these all things in later on. Just I want to show you. So you can see it is cordon, it is getting deleted, and we can see here also kubectl get nodes. It will take some time now, and according to that you can do. So suppose you have 100 of nodes and you want like only maximum 10 new nodes can be created while you are upgrading your cluster. So what will happen? It will add 10 new nodes. Once that are up, it will delete your old 10 nodes. Then it will add 10 new nodes. Then it will delete old 10 nodes. Then it adds 10 new nodes and it will delete 10 old nodes. If you are using max surge, but if you are like making is max unavailable and max surge, you can use both together also, like 10 10. So it will add 10 new nodes, and on the other side it will make 10 unavailable, means 10 delete the 10 new 10 existing nodes also. That's the option you have. Or you can make it like your cluster can take some traffic. You can make it 10 only. So if you are running 100 nodes, and you can make it like I'm okay with if 10 nodes will be deleted, so you can make it 10. But it can hurt if your cluster is running at full space and all the nodes are running all the resources, then it is not a good option. But you can combine this both max surge and max and available, like add 10 new nodes, and meanwhile you can delete 2 nodes. It is depend upon you only how you want to configure it. So if I run kubectl get nodes, now we can see we have 3 nodes available, and here also only one node is there. So like this we can do vertically up or down also, but I think pods will not run because we don't have the resources available. That's okay, we want to test everything, and that we have tested. So like this we have the options to do anything you want. You can delete a node pool also if you want to, like come here, click delete and provide the name, and it will delete your node pool also if you don't want to use. But check if your production, make sure what you are doing, don't just delete anything. So yeah, so that's all for this video. We have covered like basic things, how to create a node pool and what are the options we have, how we can horizontally scale up. We have the option of node autoscaler also, but that is a different topic. I will cover that later on. If you have any questions or suggestions, just comment it down, and I will drop my email ID. Let me know if you have anything. Just drop me an email. I will try to help you if I know how to help. Thank you very much.